Hello! Welcome everyone to the first ever video on this channel. We're going to start a journey of programming and web page designing. We will teach you everything from the basics and foundations until we reach the most advanced ones. This channel is made by a few talented people to try and help you viewers to learn everything about programming and web page designing and along many other things. So I suggest all of you to be patient and follow the videos step by step. As you may saw from the title, the subject of this video is about HTML. Before I start digging into it, let me tell you an example of what it is and what it can be. Imagine that you want to construct a building. You would normally start drawing a plan for the shape of the building and constructing the foundation first. That's exactly what HTML is. It is the foundation of web page designing. The word HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language, which is not a programming language. It's a web page designing language or a markup one, as the name suggests. If you're interested in web designing, this series of videos will be your step-by-step guide towards this journey. So, as we said, HTML is not a programming language, but it's a markup one. But what's exactly the difference between these two languages? So, first of all, programming language is a powerful tool that with the help of it, we can basically talk to computer and make all the programs and applications you use in your daily life, such as Instagram, Twitter, WhatsApp, Telegram, and any other application you use. These languages use some kind of instructions that with the help of them, we can tell the computer what to do. They work as a translator for your computer to be able to communicate, and it mostly uses conditional rules to do so. And also, in order for your hardware to work how as it was made to work, you need some kind of ground rules. These rules should be understandable for the programmer and the computer itself. Like for an example, you cannot force an English speaker to translate everything to Russian for you, so they both need to understand each other. There are many markup languages out there, but the most famous one is HTML. If you pay attention to the name of markup language itself, you will understand the concept of it. In markup languages, there's no such a things like loops, conditions, and all the things we use in programming. You would instead use markups in your code, as the name suggests. In fact, in all these languages, you separate the different elements from each other with the help of these markups to shape your foundation of the web to how you like it. So if you want to know where did HTML came from, we have to take a short trip to 1993, when Mr. Tim Berners-Lee wrote the first ever version of HTML. Since then, there have been many different versions of HTML, but the most used one is HTML4 that was the best version in the 2000s. It also kept upgrading and developing into better versions until today, that we programmers use HTML5 as the main version today. You should also know that every version had a specific foundation for itself. In another way, the foundation of HTML5 is completely different from HTML4. They can be wrote in different ways. So, HTML is the core of every kind of website on the internet, and it's an important language in the world of JavaScript and CSS along with web designing itself. And like every other thing in this world, there are pros and cons to everything, and HTML is also one of them, which will be talked about in a bit. Few of the most important pros are easy and enjoyable to learn if you're passionate about it. It is effective in every browser. It is easy to combine with other several languages like PHP, and the most important one, it's free. But like always, there are some downsides too. such as it is static and dependent to other several languages in order to communicate with user. You have to design every page separately because of the lack of conditional rules and programming instructions. So, we learned the basics of HTML and what we can do with it. So, what applications should we use to write HTML? There are many apps that support HTML, but we suggest you to use VS Code, Adobe Dreamweaver, or OpenElement. These are the few easiest ones to work with, which I personally suggest you to use VS Code because it is easy to work with and it also supports extensions that will make everything easier. Depends on what extension you will use. And we will suggest some extensions for you in future videos, so writing HTML will be easier for you. So stay tuned. There's one last thing to be discussed. What is the best web browser for HTML? There's not a huge difference between browsers and all of them are the same, but I personally use Opera GX because it's just pretty, and if you're a gamer, you may use it. So I think it'll be enough for one video. I just wanted to give you an abstract of what you're going to learn throughout videos. Try to remember all the things that were discussed, and I'll see you again in the next video.